Hey, this is Marcus Colston, and it's the NFL Players Second Acts podcast.
Welcome to the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. I'm Peanut Tillman. This is my grandfather, Roman Harper. My guy, what's up?
I'm doing good.
You like that one?
I do. I mean, I've been called way worse by you. And grandfather seems good. It seems
yeah, it's my grandfather.
And everything else that comes with it, man. First and foremost, let's thank all of our viewers and listeners out there. Anywhere else you listen and pick up your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio Podcasts. Thank you so much for always tuning in. Give us a rating, a review. 5 stars, please. Tell a friend to what, Peanut?
Tell a friend.
There it is. Continue to spread the word. Hit click follow, give us a like, all those other things. Peanut, who do we have today?
We got a good one. I'm kind of excited about this one. Not as excited as our producer, Thomas. But, yeah, this is a good one. He's in my draft class. He's a first-round draft pick.
So before you.
Low blow. Oh, wow.
Already. We just started.
But he deserved it, though. He deserved to be better. He was better than me coming out of college. He deserved it, and he earned it.
I love it.
He's a first-round, 31st pick to the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, but the Oakland Raiders, 4-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler, actor, producer, philanthropist. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Nnamdi Asomugha.
Oh, you guys clap too? Oh,
yeah, we clap. Yeah. Sometimes we clap.
The audience.
Yeah, we the audience.
We do it all. We do it all right here.
We're our own hype team.
Yeah, I love it.
We gotta be.
Yeah.
Now, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it.
But before we say anything, we have to clear up how you pronounce your name. But before you answer how you pronounce your name,
okay.
We got something for you.
No,
Commissioner,
don't do it.
Commissioner Paul Tagliabue.
Selection in the 2003 NFL Draft. The Oakland Raiders select Asomugha Nnamdi, cornerback, California.
Asomugha Nnamdi.
So we're
my God.
We're in so I stayed in the dorms for 4 years in college, which was like unprecedented, but it was like my own dorm, so I took care of it, got everything taken care of. So we're in the dorms. I have like my brother, my sister, like all of my friends, my teammates from college.
At the dorm?
They're all in the dorm. This was my
that's
draft.
a hell of a dorm.
No. They're just in there. They didn't sleep there. They were
No.
just in there.
I'm just saying, you're the first person I know to have a party in a dorm.
Yeah, like, first time ever.
Everyone goes outside of that.
Oh, let me.
It must have been a hell of a dorm.
No, we also had a party the next night.
Okay,
but hold on. Because I was in the dorms for so long, I was a senior. So by the time I got there to my senior year, my dorm was like pretty much the whole first. Like I had. Plush.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It must have been dope.
Yeah, it was a set.
It was nice. You know, they took care of me. So I had everybody in there, and I got a phone call from the Raiders. We're sort of expecting the first round. First round's going to go, and we'll see where we show up.
Yeah.
And I had the calls beforehand. I had some teams call and say, hey, if you don't get drafted, look for us in free agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was preparing for that. So I said, okay, so I might not get drafted. I told people I might not get. So I'm not looking at the first round. But we're all in there. We're just chilling. I get the call from the Raiders, and they're like, "We're going to take you with the next pick." And so I'm like, telling them, "We're going to the Raiders." Everybody's screaming, "Here he comes! Here he comes!" Tagliabue came on, shredded it,
destroyed it.
My teammates killed me for that. They were like, "Wait, who? Did he? Is he talking about you?" They showed my face. I was like, But anyway,
Asomugha
took away from the moment, but you know,
we're here now.
We're here now.
I mean, you thought they said you might have go undrafted?
No teams. There were teams. So there were teams that were saying, "Hey, we're going to take you in the second round." There's teams that are saying different things, but there were teams that were like, "Hey, just in case you don't get drafted, look for us." You know, and for when you get to choose, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
You don't really know. Like it's all project. Like it's their thoughts in there. So I didn't know. And then we went with 31. So during the Gruden trade, is it called a trade? When he
it was a trade.
Yeah, he went from Oakland, Tampa Bay. The Raiders got an extra pick, so we had 31 and 32, and they took me with 31. And
Rest is history.
Who was 32?
32 was a defensive lineman named Tyler Brayton.
Okay. I was going to say, did you always have that over him? Because, like, I mean, they could have picked either one of us, and they took me in front of you.
He was such a good guy. Like, I would have never, like.
He's a good guy, and I do it to him all the time.
You do it to him, I know, but it's a different.
He was like, were you 45?
I was 43rd.
Oh, okay. My bad.
It's all good.
I was 35. He looked 45 for sure all day.
I remember when we played against you. I can't remember if it was early in my career. We played against you, and you were balling. You did your thing, of course. And then I came after the game. I remember I was talking to one of my teammates, and I said, "Man, the old vet was nice. Like, guys, my witness, I was like, he was nice because when you took your helmet off, the Silver Fox, and they were like, man, he younger than you. I was like, what? You know?
Yes.
But,
yes.
We always say, like, dude, we should always ask, when's everybody the first time they actually saw you? And, like, it was like,
everyone says the same thing.
Yes.
PAO, I was like, oh, yeah. I was, we talking. He was, oh yeah, I'm a rookie. I was like, rookie,
right?
I thought you've been in the league 7 years.
That's right.
You look stressed. Football ain't supposed to be that hard. God dang.
The best story ever was when I got into my own DB room. Like, they knew that I was the draft pick, second round pick.
Yeah.
And they had to, that back then it was like 9-year, 12, 13-year guys.
Yeah.
And they're all in there. And they were like, he's a second round pick. Like, who's the new vet guy? They were like, no, he's the second round pick. They were like, did he go on like a mission trip or something? Like, was he in the armed forces? Like, did he serve
10 years?
Yeah. Like, did he just come back? Like, what happened? Like, how's he so great?
You were what? You were 22?
So yeah, 23 when I got drafted. One of those.
Look, 32.
Yeah, it's just part of it.
Hey, anyway, decade plus my career, your career, Grandpa right here. We got these great careers. We all have that welcome to the NFL moment. What was your welcome to the NFL moment with the back then Oakland Raiders?
So it's not Tagliabue? I can't say that's not my welcome.
I mean, technically you could, but we know that one. But was there something when you got like on the team? Did the vet say something? Did you go out? Was it a bill? Was it a rookie show? Was it you got hit? You got ran over? You gave him a touchdown?
Man, they took care of me. I didn't do the rookie show.
What?
I didn't do the rookie show.
Man.
I mean, they made me pay for a lot of like rookie dinners.
Okay.
But they would do this thing with the rookies where they would give them crazy haircuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you got like all your hair is right here or just right here. You know what I mean? Didn't do that. Like I don't know.
They took care of you. They liked you.
You got some good vets then.
It was great vets. It was Charles Woodson who wasn't a great. I'll tell him to his face. He was not a great vet when I was a rookie. He was not a good mentor at all. Didn't say one word to me the whole time I was there.
Had to earn it.
Had to earn it. He was like, "You gonna earn it?" My second year, he started talking to me. I was like, "Okay." But yeah, we had Rod Woodson. I mean, these guys were in their 15th year.
Yeah. They didn't have time to worry about you.
They weren't tripping.
No.
Tim Brown, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. That was the first game I started.
The Raider game?
My fourth game. We played y'all my fourth game.
Oh, yeah.
In Chicago.
I remember that.
That was the first game I started. First game I started was Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. That was like 2 Hall of Famers. This was my first game I ever started. And I balled.
I was going to say you were balling, though.
I balled. I had like 3 PIs, and they weren't PIs. It's just I was a rookie going against Jerry Rice.
They throwing the flag. They throwing the flag.
My coach is like, Peanut, you will never get that call. Just keep playing, baby. Keep playing. I ain't tripping.
I was looking. I remember watching from, the side. I didn't play. I mean, I played special teams.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, man, this dude, like Peanut, there was other guys. I was like, man, they're playing. They're out there balling. I'm like, my head down. Like, I get to run down his gunner.
Yeah.
And then stop the other gunner and then like try to break the wall and kick off. And, I was stressing.
So I played 13 years, 12 in Chicago, 1 in Carolina. You played for the Saints for, 10, 15 years. And then
20.
You played another year or 2 in Carolina. You
did 22 years?
Yeah, he did 22 years. He did a bid. You played in Oakland. You went to San Francisco. You played in Philly.
Right.
And then finally you signed the 1-day contract. Why was it important for you to go back to Oakland and sign that 1-day contract and retire as a Raider? And a follow-up question is, how was it playing with Al Davis? Or for Davis, excuse me.
Yeah. For Al Davis.
Yeah,
Yes,
I said playing with, but playing for him.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The first question, why was it important? It was the place that raised me. You know what I mean? And when I finished, I remember when I left Oakland, we were in the middle of a strike. We were in the middle of a
Yeah, the lockout.
That was 07?
No.
that was
It was
11?
10 or 11.
Okay.
11.
We were in the middle of a strike, and like when and I was a free agent, so right when it was over, you had like a day, to get with the team because it ended as training camp
Was about to start.
beginning, and I remember like being under the gun, make a decision, and so I made the decision, but it was so quick. Like the next day, I was gone. I was on a plane, and I felt like I never had the opportunity to talk to the Oakland fans, to thank the fans. You know how people like take out a page in a newspaper or do something. So that never happened. And I remember when I finished, I was just thinking like, this was the team that raised me. When I was drafted, I played safety. I played safety throughout college.
Yeah.
And, there was a guy, Poindexter, played for Virginia in college.
Yeah.
And Anthony Poindexter, he was a safety. And I used to watch him, and I was like, oh, yeah.
I played one of the NCAA games. Yeah. Really good.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So he was nice. He played with Tiki and those guys. And so I would watch him, and I said, okay, I want to be a safety. I want to hit. I want to play in space. I did not want to be out there by myself at all, by any means. So I devoted myself to playing safety. Thought I figured it out. End up getting drafted. And I get there, and then Al Davis tells me, we're going to move you to corner. What? You know what I mean? Like, that's not my, haven't you seen my tape? You drafted me to play safety. I'm the next Poindexter. And he's like, yeah, you're going to play corner, and you're going to figure it out. And I struggled. I remember struggling my rookie year and having to figure it out and becoming what I became. All the things that happened in Oakland, and just realizing that journey that happened there. And to never be able to say thank you in any sort of way to the fan base, to the organization, stayed with me. And so when I finished, I wanted to go back there and sort of do it what I felt was the right way with the team that brought me up.
That was your first time ever playing corner when you got drafted by the Raiders?
Well, I played, so in high school, you play every position in the world.
Yeah.
And in college, there were a few games where we had like a taller receiver, I think my senior year, where there'd be like, go out and check that receiver. Man, what the hell? I didn't know what
I got you.
doing. And so then when I got to Oakland, it was the first. And so you got to imagine, you get drafted to play a position, to play cornerback in my position, what was the most difficult place in the league to play the position, because they didn't care about you. You know what I mean? Like, it was, you're going to be out there by yourself the whole game. Like, there's no one that's under you. There's no one on top of you. There's just one guy in the middle. And so I had to learn how to play the position there, which was even more trying for me. So yeah, that was the first time that I'd ever sort of had to figure out the cornerback position. But to our earlier point, I don't even remember if we were recording at this point, but I had Charles there, I had Rod there, I had people that had played the game that I could look to and sort of gain some knowledge about the position.
Did you think that those players taught you more about footwork? What technique thing do you think that you learned early that was like, okay, that was like huge for me to help take my game to the next level?
Oh, that's a great question. There's two things. So there's one specific thing with Rod. Rod he's going to kill me if I'm putting years on him, but I think he was in like his 17th year.
Yeah, it was, yes.
He was, I mean, he had fake knees and fake.
1,000%.
Yeah.
He was playing safety at the time.
He was safety. And so my rookie year, I sat next to Rod when we would have big DB meetings. I'll never forget, it was like the first or second day, and the coach was up there. He was going over schemes and plays. So he's talking about cover 2. How we do this. Look over to Rod. Rod is in his book. Got the top says cover 2. Bottom, he's got X's and O's. And I'm like, this is his 17th year. What is he? I sort of looked at him, and he kind of looked at me, saw me noticing. He said, "You always take notes." And I was like, okay. And more so for him, my rookie year, I was always taking notes. But then it became routine. And then throughout my career, it was habit. It was notes on players. It was notes on what we're doing. It was notes on whatever. So that was the big thing, I think, from him. But overall, we have time because I got stories.
Yeah, tell your story.
Well, I mean, that's what people show up for.
Overall, so the question of like, what'd you learn? So what I learned, let me tell you this. All the first year and the second year players would be in a room. We'd watch film with the coaches. When they would see Charles or Rod or someone make a play, they would say, and you guys probably are familiar with this, they would say, "Now that's a great play." And they'd turn to us and say, "But you don't do it like that." Every time. It happened all the time. They would turn, Charles would make a play, Rod would make a play. It was like, "Great play. That's not how we do it, okay, guys? That's not how we do it." And then they
Keep going.
And they keep it moving. And so I was like, what is this thing why do they keep saying that's not how we do it? So we would go to practice as rookies and second year players. You know what synchronized swimming is?
Yeah.
We would look like that on the field. We would, you have your left leg back, your right leg back, you take steps, you break forward. There was a system, there was a way to play the cornerback position. And so I tried to learn because I was like, they drafted me in the first round. I need to figure this thing out. So I did every single thing that they told me that the group of us were doing. There was 15 or so of us. I wasn't gaining any traction. I'll make a play here or there. I'm like, I'm taller than all the rest of these guys. Like, I can't. There's things they're doing. I'm like, What? How is this possible? So I'm going into I think it was my second or end of my third. Yes, going into my second year. We had a coach that told me, this offseason, I want you to study all of the greats, study the best corners, whoever you think those guys are. We have tapes. Go upstairs, find the tapes. Take this offseason, spring, summer, and come back and tell me what you noticed. And I did that. You name the guy. I studied him. I was watching everything he did. I need to figure out how to play this position. And the thing that stood out to me was they were all great. They were all making plays, but none of them looked the same.
Yeah.
They were all distinctly different than the other person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I said, wait, they're not doing the synchronized swimming thing that we've been. That was how I was taught.
Yeah.
And so I come back, and I realized I started to learn what made me comfortable in the position.
Yeah.
And I developed, with the help of some teammates, my own way to play, because they were going to ask us to play press man.
Yep.
That's going to be 99% of the game. So I had to figure out how to do that. So there was a way that I played the game that was different from my teammates. And I remember when I started to take off in my second year into the top of my third year, never forget, we're watching film. I made a play. Coach turned to the rookies. Great play, but we don't do it like that. And I said,
I made it.
I got it.
So the thing that I learned was we're all talented. We're in the NFL. We can all do it. But the faster you figure out who you are
Yes.
in the game and how you fit, the better it'll go for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And that's a great transition to what we're here today doing, which is, about this podcast. And Thomas, break out your tissues if you need to. But, it's really all about, you really helped inspire this whole deal here, the idea of really giving the platform to former players, talking about that transition and actually finding an outlet, whether this space or talking about, the transition of what they do and finding some kind of joy or happiness after football is all said and done. Because at some point that happens for all of us. Mm-hmm. And you really talking about that helped really inspire this. And so how was that possible for you? Like, where did you see that kind of transition, or how did you see that would play out in your own life?
Well, first, I appreciate it. I didn't realize until we started the show how instrumental or influential I was in beginning this show, until I heard from Thomas. Mm-hmm. And so that makes me happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because any way you can be of service, I think, is a beautiful thing. The transition is tough.
Oh, yeah.
The transition is tough. Because what happens is we've already sort of spoken on it, but you're going from a constant energy that's around you, from the crowd, from your teammates, from people in the streets, you know what I mean, that you're feeling, whether it's positive, whatever it is, you're feeling that, and that's a daily thing for you. And then it all ends and, like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, I'm still here. And that's a difficult thing. I don't know if everyone deals with it, but I definitely dealt with it. Just trying to figure out who I was without the game. I'm sure this comes up a lot in this podcast, right? That people were going through the moment of identity crisis and like, oh, who am I? Mm-hmm. I've done this almost my whole life up until this point, and now you're telling me I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. So what do I do? And I definitely went through that. I think it's unfair to say. I I went through it. I think I'd say I'm getting better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't crossed over into like glory land where it's like it doesn't cross my mind. You're just never gonna get it again. But speaking to some guys, Ronnie Lott was instrumental in this. Aeneas Williams, even for
2 great energy guys.
Yeah.
Aeneas is awesome.
Great energy guys.
I've never met Ronnie Lott. Yeah,
I've met him a couple of times.
Aeneas is yeah. That's like he's Louisiana, right?
Yeah. Baton Rouge.
And just getting some words from them, which were along the same lines, which were, whatever you do next, go into it with the same fervor, the same sort of energy that you went into football, and then you'll see the results. And so that's what I've tried to do. But there's a strong period in there where it was like, what is going on?
What was that low period?
Yeah.
What was that low period? And eventually, did you ever get out of it? Because you said you're getting better at it. So how are you climbing out of that?
I'm out of the low.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not out of the fog.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the low was, there are stages of grief, right? Mm-hmm. And I hit those stages, I think there's 7 stages, right? I probably had 8 or 9, I threw a couple in there just for good measure. But I don't know what the first one is, but denial is in there. Like, nah, everything, you
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. But there's no, there's no issue.
I feel like that's what I did. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're just blinded by
It's so true.
Yeah.
You're not good.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, and I also, the period in my life where I didn't talk, which is also an issue for, I think, a lot of us. So there wasn't much communication to anyone about like, man, I missed the game. I don't know what to do next. And I don't, I'm waking up in the morning like, I don't have a drive for anything. There's nothing pushing me forward to the next step. So then I'll just spend the day and wait until I go to sleep and see if something comes the next day. And then you kind of get into a routine where nothing's happening. I started to have, at that point I had kids, and that I think took a lot of the focus. Yeah. So that could sort of keep me through the day. I spend a lot of time with the kids, do whatever I can in that world, and then I'll be good. And let's wait till the next day. So I went through that. It was, I shrug to sort of like throw it away, but it was a difficult period.
Yeah.
And then I figured out what I wanted to try to do.
Yeah.
And I started to fall in love with that. And so the low started to get higher. I started to get out of that space. But I didn't do it on my own. I actually had to find a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I necessarily did all the work, but I found a thing, and it helped me sort of grow out of where I was.
So I know for me, I kind of went through my little funk of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I found something. I was like, well, I'm happy, but I don't know if I really want to do this right now. And then it was just me trying to, you're trying to figure other things out. But really what helps you is, we all have a support system. Well, most people, they have a support system, right? Mm-hmm. So talk about what and who your support system was that helped you get you through that dark time.
Yeah. I mean, I have a praying family.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how we grew up.
Yeah, for sure.
It is what it is. From my wife to my mom to my grandma to everyone in my family. That's what they do. And so that was sort of the thing that I could always go back to, that would sort of give me a little bit of strength. And, so it was really family support that would get me through those moments. And they didn't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even know.
Because you didn't communicate.
No, not at all. They had no clue. They were like, oh, great. They'll be like, oh, man, can you believe what you've accomplished in your life and all this sort of things. But I never communicated that I'm lost. I don't know what's next. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But their support, even in me not communicating anything, was, I think, what got me through.
So what's the biggest misconception with players once they get out of the league? Like the opinion of players once they get out of the league, that they got it figured out, or that we can only play football, or even like you, is like quiet. When they're most quiet, that's when we should check on them the most.
Oh, that's interesting. There's actually something to that.
Yeah, because hearing you say it, I would think like, it is something to that. The teammate I haven't heard from in the longest, it's probably the one I might need to check out on.
Yeah, that's right. And I get it, too, when I hear certain things about guys that were struggling, or this guy went down that path, or this guy didn't have any money anymore, this guy got da-da-da-da. I completely get it. I see it. When I was playing, I don't know that I could have seen it. Mm-mm. I look at that, and I'm like, oh, come on, guys. You just played in the NFL. You can go, but then when you're in it, it's completely different. And, and we're finishing playing, we're retiring in our 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. Because your whole life ahead of you.
Gotcha, but you don't know that.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You think you're old
because you're not in it.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you're told you're old.
And you're told you're old.
You're told you're old.
You're told
33 is old.
You're told you're old.
Yeah.
And you get out in the rest of the world, and you're like, I'm like the youngest person in the room.
That's right. And they'll
just
tell you
my career. Yeah.
That's right. And they start to tell you, you're so young, you have.
Right.
But it's the first time you heard it.
Yes.
You got so used to hearing that you were old.
Correct.
So there's a rewiring that has to happen. And you actually have to hear it enough times for you to realize, oh, no, I am young. I'm not old. I can do more, and that's we just have to all get to that place.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've heard in the last couple of years, it was like, because I'm in the same as you. Like, I've been told I was old, and all of a sudden, everybody I've been around is like way older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, actually, I'm very young, actually, in this room. look at the, according to bank statements, I'm like, I'm kind of like very young compared to a lot of people that have this amount or whatever it is. That's what football's blessed us with.
Yeah.
And then, they say, you know what, actually, in most people's careers, the biggest years of income generating years are in your 40-something to 50s.
That's right. They say
it's
40s to 50s.
It's like, that's your biggest years.
That's
so
right.
like, you ain't even hit it yet. You're right there at it.
You hear it, you look at the statistics, and it's like 45 to 55 or to 60. And you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So there's even more.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I don't think people talk about that enough because in our real world, that conversation's never had.
Never.
Yeah.
But I guess in everybody else's locker room, that conversation's had all the time. You got to work to this. Then when you get here, man, you're going to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is the sweet spot.
When you say everybody else's locker room, what do you mean?
In
Other
real
professions.
estate. Yeah, other professions.
Yes. Got it. Yep.
In acting, all these other, like, by the time you really figure it out and hit it, that's where you're at in your age.
Right.
It's just,
right.
We've been told for so long, just in the opposite end. We just don't know it. And like you said, the communication part of it is huge because we do not hear that.
Yeah.
So now that you're retired and you're in the acting business, do you have players, former players, when they get out, do they hit you up for advice? And if you do give them advice, what do you tell them?
I've had like a handful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even when I was playing, there was something, I don't know if it's like taboo or something. There was something about it that guys would talk about, like, I want to go into acting. I want to go into, but you couldn't really, it wasn't really like announced.
Right.
It was like on the side, I'm going to go into, and I've seen that not a lot of people are going into it. I've had a couple, like a handful of people that have reached out and been like, hey, I'm trying to get into this. So I'd give advice, which is basically choose another profession. But I'll stick with them because it is it's like anything else. It's very difficult, but I'll sort of give them the tools that I had, that I figured out along the way and what could help them. But it's such a tough profession in that if there's any bit of fragility in your spirit, you will be done in like half a minute. The amount of like rejection and the amount of like now, you know what I mean? It's tough.
It's a lot of that.
It's a lot of that.
Gotta have thick skin.
Yeah, you gotta have thick skin, and we sort of developed that playing football. So we're able to like understand, okay, there's another day. This didn't work out. Okay, let's see how we can get better and move to the next.
Do you receive good feedback in those rejections, or is it just a rejection?
It depends. It depends if they.
Because I've never been in that room.
I haven't either.
Is
it kind of like, oh my God, you were so great, but we're gonna go for somebody else. Thank you. Good. Bye-bye. Is it kind of like that, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a.
Are they polite when they reject you?
They won't necessarily do it like to your face in the room. They won't say that. It'll be on their face, but they won't say it to you. And then you'll get a call that, this didn't work out, and this is the reason why. But they also have like the boilerplate, like they have their list of things that they can say, and we're gonna go with someone more experienced, or we're gonna go with so you hear the standard things. You don't really get true feedback, so you just have to.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. You just have to figure it out on your own.
So what's been tougher, football or acting?
Got to know this answer.
Well, for me, there's nothing. I haven't experienced anything tougher than having to learn the cornerback position.
Really?
Yeah. So, I would say football.
Okay.
I think I don't want to take anything away from acting because it is extremely difficult. I think it's crazy when I hear people say like acting is easy. It's like that camera turns on and you have to disappear and like be in your own space. It's very difficult. But football is its own. Football is like mind, body, soul, spirit, head, toes. Everything is involved, and it's just a different type of grind. And it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's like next level tough.
We should act. Let's get some coaches and start acting.
Yeah.
Well,
No?
we've heard multiple things about an acting coach today. So, because we actually knew zero about it up until today, so it's been really interesting. We've been learning.
You've been learning.
Yeah, we're doing our
to.
research.
Listen,
We're doing our research.
It's never too late.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Let's do it. Let's act.
I think I may have aged out, but
You're still young. You're still young.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I receive that. He don't look it, but he receives it. He don't look it, but he receive it.
All right, so you're talking about how hard it is, and I mean, dude, you knocked it out of the park. Honestly, you did in your role in Crown Heights.
Oh,
could you maybe give us? You were. What was that? You were out the gate. You said you were the next rising star. You won a couple other. We're mentioning a couple of award things off of that. Take us into that role. Like, how did you get prepared for it?
I like the accent.
Why was it?
Oh my!
Like, what made that one so special for you? And like, how did you really like? I think it's special whenever I talk to or meet a person that's an actor, quote unquote, because they're not themselves. And like, how do you ever
into that role?
Like, how do you
get into character?
Yeah, like how do you do that? I'm so amazed. And they're a completely different person than who they are.
I'm innocent. My friend is, and you got the accent and everything. Like you got this cool little accent. And then you had I just think it's amazing. You had the Caribbean accent and everything.
Right.
Yeah, how do you do that?
So that project's interesting because I was going through it and I was trying to figure out because nothing was working out. And I'm like, all right, maybe this isn't the thing. I had tried so many things, man. Like real estate, like I've gone through like, okay, what is out there? And this wasn't really working out. So I remember I sent emails I had a list of like 100 directors. And in an acting class, like if I come in, everyone's like, Asomugha's in an acting class? Is he gonna act? Like, is he? And so you have to do that in front of people when they're like now watching every single movement because they know you from another life. So it's difficult. So I had reached out to these 100 directors and, I was getting advice that they're going to look at you as a football player. Nobody's going to respond. I said, let me try. I reached out. I got one response out of 100. I said I was going to give this thing 6 months. If I don't feel something in the 6 months, then this wasn't it. And I started feeling things along the way. And I got one response, and the guy was like, "Oh, this is great to hear." We got into it. We had a couple calls, and then y'all know what ghosting is.
Oh yeah,
it just disappeared.
I was like, what's up, man? I'm like, yo, I'm still trying to do this. So he disappeared on me. And so I remember the day I said, all right, that's it. I'm done. Figure something else out. Maybe it's a different part of the business that I do, but it's not going to be this. It's not going to be acting. You know what I mean? So I put it down, and God's my witness. It was like a week later. And I get an email about this role, this film. The guy like, hey, we're doing this film. Any interest? Like, yeah. I was done.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Let me try. And so I went out. We did an audition for it. Ended up getting the role and then coming on to help produce. And yeah, that was it. But it to get into that character, I mean, we could be here for days talking about that. But I know for the audition, the accent that I have in the film, I had to bring that into the audition, and these guys didn't expect it, so they thought I was just going to come in as me. And I just got some advice from the acting coach that I worked with. They said use the Trinidadian accent in the room, but I'm not talking about when they say action.
Yeah,
the whole time,
the moment you step in. And so I stepped in the room like how I stepped in and shook hands and we hugged and stuff. It was in an accent. And they immediately were like,
he walked into character.
Do you know what I mean? Like and so I was like, all right. And so I was in, and then all the way to the car, I was in. Even when they said bye, I was still I never dropped that thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then it came back. It was like within a couple of days. They were like, yeah, you got it. Yeah, because of the commitment.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Killed it.
Killed it.
Killed it.
With a T.
Killed it. Killed it. With a T. Yeah, with a T. That's black right there. That's the A. Killed it with a T. He killed that. Like how you say fire. It ain't fire.
I do say that.
Taylor says, oh yeah, that was fire. You be like, oh, that's fire. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's fire. So not only can you act, but when did you know that, I can lead? Like when, was it Sylvie's Love? Like when did you know you could like lead or be the main character in a movie? When did you know that?
I came in with that mentality. Like I came in that I'm not the side part. Like I'm not the one. They came when I first got in. They would send me out on auditions, and it would be for the football player, or something. You know what I mean? And so I'd come.
Yeah, because you did a spot in the game. You did a spot in the game.
A different spot. Like
was early. You were playing then, so
I was playing them. Yeah. But this was the thing that they wanted when I was done.
Right.
Yeah. So I would. It's like, you're the one that brings the beer into the party, and then you grunt and hey guys, I got the beer, and I was like, They say do it like a football player. I'm like, I'm doing it how I do it. Like I actually did play, and so that just wasn't. I knew that wasn't the lane for me, so I just said, let me sort of figure it out. I knew that there were lead parts. I knew that there were. This is what we do, You were both captains on your teams, like, and probably we all were captains since Pop Warner or since high school. What we know how to do is lead. That's just it's innate. And even coming into that business, even knowing nothing, I knew that I'm a leader.
Yeah.
Whether it's the role that I'm playing or the team that I'm built around. So that's why it was always in my head.
Another big part of your story is your philanthropy work. So your foundation, the Asomugha Foundations, and so you got the Orphans and Widows in Need, or you call it OWIN, and then you also have the ACT, so the Asomugha College Tour of Scholarships.
Yeah.
And so I just like, how much of that part do you want that to be known as your legacy? Yeah. And I know it's a huge part of your life. Like, I think this is outstanding. I didn't know about this until I did a deep dive in, especially about the college tours. Yeah. That's just so cool, bro. Man. I mean, the fact that you're taking kids and you're taking them to Howard, you're taking them down to Louisiana. You did a whole tour out there.
That's right.
You've been on the East Coast. You've taken them all down to the West Coast.
We
already.
didn't do
opportunities.
We didn't.
You did do UL. You did LSU. You did Xavier.
Yeah, no.
You also did Southern.
We did,
and so
Tulane.
Did Tulane's another great school. So I just thought that was. When I saw that, I'm like, that is brilliant because, and not only that, but all the kids are going off and doing other things once they go through your program. So
opportunities,
the impact that you're making on these young people's lives, I know it's big.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from your words on how much it is an impact on you and how important philanthropy has been in your life. Tutelage, I'm sure it's been passed down. You just don't grow into this. I'm sure it's about your parents as well.
Yeah, they definitely played a big role. Both of my parents growing up. My dad died when I was 12.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But even before that, I watched him in his philanthropic efforts and who he was helping out and stuff. So it definitely played a role. But the college tour, that's so dear to my heart.
It seems like it's awesome.
Man, that thing is Derek Brooks.
Yeah,
of course.
Hall of Fame.
DB. He was doing a tour, not a tour, I guess it's a tour. He was doing a trip for some kids, and he took them to, it must have been like South Africa. They went somewhere.
Huge.
And I caught this. I said, he took some kids on a trip to South. I said, why would he? I just thought about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love to travel. I would love to give back in some sort of way. And I was like, I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I've told him this, that he influenced, what I do with these kids. But at that point I wanted an angle. I was in East Oakland, and I knew that there were so many bright kids in Oakland that were never going to get out of Oakland.
Yeah.
Because they
They just don't know anybody.
They
ain't
don't know.
seen
They
it.
haven't seen it outside of, yeah.
They don't know that there's an out
Yeah.
of Oakland.
This is all they know. This is all they see.
That's
they can't
right.
see past that.
That's right. And they got great grades, great personality, great people. And you start to talk to them and they're like, no, I'll probably after graduate, I'll take care of my grandma. And then I'm going to take care of my my nieces. And then I got to also take care of X, Y, Z. And all right, but what about you? Who's taking care of you? Right? Mm-hmm. And so I would get these students together and I said, look, we're going on tours. We're going across the country. We'll go to different states and different cities. And I do it every year. New students every year, juniors, sophomores in high school. Let's go. Let's check out the colleges. We put them in touch with the colleges. Many of them end up going to those schools, getting scholarships from us, from them. It just turned into a huge thing that till this day, and now COVID struck us when COVID hit. That was the first time we hadn't done it in years. And so we had to take a break, and now we're back on doing the tours again. And it's been, that one's like,
near and dear to heart.
Yeah.
I would love to team up, bring something to Alabama, dog. I know East Oakland, I don't know if they're ready to come to Alabama.
Crimson Tide.
But hey, I mean, it's not bad. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's about the scholars. It's about education.
No,
I like it.
I'm with you. You been to Alabama?
I've been there. I mean, driven by it.
You drove through.
I drove through. I drove by it. I ain't stay there. Alabama ain't got nothing for me but some red clay.
We do got a lot of red dirt out there.
Yeah, all y'all got is red dirt.
We got a lot of that.
I'll stay down in Louisiana. I'm good.
It's all good.
I sit down in the Southwest, baby. In the bayou.
It's all good. In the boot. It's all good.
Man, y'all are too much. How did this connection happen?
We were teammates.
We're teammates, yeah.
And then Peanut recruited me.
Oh, okay.
This is my dog, man. I know I give him all the time.
Oh, but you can tell it's a brother.
That's my guy, though. Yeah. Have you ever seen the show Grumpier Old Man, the movie Grumpier Old Man?
Oh, yeah.
Jack Lemmon, Walter. Like, this is us. Like, he's older, but we grumpy and happy all at the same time. Like, I love it. We gonna be fighting. We gonna be 90
years old. Yeah.
This is how we gonna be.
All of our kids have gotten cool now. It's like it's a whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a whole.
You seen know in Life when Martin and Eddie Murphy grow up.
Yeah, that's
and
us.
They're like just like messing with each other.
That's Rome and I all day.
That's
Rome and I.
I want to know this though. Did you really choose to major in finance at Berkeley because of Eddie Murphy's character in Boomerang?
Wow, good for you. You did. Now I don't know if you did the deep dive or
Thomas.
Oh, Thomas did the deep dive.
We'll give Thomas that bone.
Dude,
Thomas did it. Thomas is dope.
First of all, Thomas has studied you.
Okay.
Like the back of his own hand.
Okay.
All right.
Thomas is good. He's good at his job.
There's no doubt about it. Shout out to
so
Thomas.
excited. Shout out to Thomas.
But I'm the one that's
went to
asking the
Howard.
question.
He went to Howard.
Yes,
Thomas
he
went
did.
to Howard.
And you have taken your kids.
He's got
to
a
Howard.
building named after him.
Yes.
No.
I'm lying. I made that up, but that was I made that part up. But
It sounded great.
It did sound great.
It sounded great.
I should have kept it going.
You should have kept.
I should have kept it going.
Nnamdi believed it too much.
I did believe it.
I was acting. I was acting. I was in character.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I watched
Boomerang, great movie.
Yeah.
Boomerang.
Great movie.
That's right. And I watched it, and I tell people like it's not the best reason to choose a major, but I watched him, and I was like, oh, this dude he's the
man
right there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
He's got it all. He's got it all figured out.
All figured out.
Strange, baby. Strange all day. Strange.
And so I was finishing high school, and they said, what do you want to major in when you go to college? And I said, marketing. I wanted to be in like the marketing, sort of the business, the finance world. And it was because of Eddie Murphy in Boomerang. And then I got to college and I didn't get into the business school, so I couldn't do marketing. So I did some classes that qualified me for getting the finance degree. But yeah, that was my inspiration.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a good pool.
Yeah. Last question.
Hold on, no, because I got to know this. Thomas is gonna be mad. I don't. care.
Look at him now.
I don't care. I don't care. Here we go. You ready?
This is the last question.
ready?
This is the last question.
This is the last question.
This will be the last question.
No, it's not. We're gonna ask you the real one, the one we always ask. But I'm getting this in.
Okay.
Tell me this: you learned how to play the saxophone for Sylvie's Love,
Well done.
right? Do you still play it? And I also want to know, because I heard the whole 18-month process was a process, not only for you, but everybody else that had to hear you playing.
Yeah.
It
was rough. It was rough in the house.
It was because
you traveled with it. You brought the saxophone on the plane.
I took it wherever.
Yes.
So I want to know: are they still are they over that? And so how is that whole thing going? Like for the whole family? I think that's awesome.
I don't play anymore. I know. What a letdown.
That was such a letdown.
I was hoping you would say, like, oh, yeah.
I saw, like, when the balloon, like, I just thought.
That was such a letdown.
I was like, he still plays. He's committed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were talking about.
I'm sorry, guys. No, I don't. I don't play. But my son, every now and then, he'll jump in there, and he's 6, and he'll jump in there, and he'll see it, and he'll start trying to play something. So I'll get him into, but I don't.
Let it go.
All right, go ahead with your last question.
I had to.
Last question. So we asked this question to a lot of our guests.
I don't want the question for a lot of the guests. I want something else.
This is our main question.
This is our main question.
Spin it.
Okay, so this is the first time we've ever asked this question. I'm making it up off the fly.
Are you lying?
No. I'm not. Making it.
I love when he goes off the cuff.
Totally off the cuff.
Yes.
So Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Right? There's 4 people on Mount Rushmore. In life, they've helped you acting, coaching, playing, producing, philanthropy, whatever. If you could put 4 people on your Mount Rushmore, who would they be?
Oh.
Okay.
That was all right.
Yeah.
You weren't ready for that?
That's why I'm looking like, all right, I see you.
Let's see. I would put Rob Ryan, who was a coach of mine.
Nice. Yeah. Rob Ryan's got mentioned twice.
He got mentioned twice? That's who he is.
Hey.
I mean, I could do a whole segment on him. I would put, I'd have to put my wife on there, of course.
Shout out.
I actually want to stay away from family because there's so many.
Yeah. You don't want to pick one of those.
My house, there's like 6 people.
Yeah.
I had a coach named Eden Bernardi. She was an acting coach that passed away. I would have to put Alonzo Carter. He's now coached at San Jose State, but has just been a mentor throughout. Boy, you see how much football has shaped.
Yeah.
Because you only get 4, and so I put 2 football related, 1 acting. I can't put family. I'll take my wife off because I don't want to put family. So the last person is.
Great question. Off the cuff. I just can't.
That's what happened.
Hey, that's like a freestyle. I can rap now.
Oh, you know who it'd be?
Who?
It'd be Andy Reid.
Oh,
Andy Reid.
Another great coach.
Andy Reid, who I'm still very close to this day.
Loves cheeseburgers.
Loves cheeseburgers.
He loves cheeseburgers.
I mean, you can look at him and be intimidated. The most gentle human being, father figure type of person.
I love that. Yeah. I like that.
So I think I'll go with those 4 because I was under the gun. If I had a day to think about it.
Well, you don't have.
I don't know what.
You don't have a day.
I don't have.
You don't have a day. You know what, Nnamdi? Dude, this has been awesome. I appreciate it.
This is great.
I'm mad it took us so long to meet, and we came out in the same draft.
Can I say something? That is the greatest cornerback draft in the history.
It is
of the game.
It is.
Should we go through a list real quick?
Yeah, Thomas, tell him in my ear real quick. So can you pull it up real quick? I'm calling you out. So it was
this draft class was crazy.
You, Sammy Davis, Terrence Newman,
Asante,
Marcus Trufant, Ike Taylor, Troy Polamalu,
We'll
Andre Woolfolk.
Rasheen, you said Rasheen?
Rasheen, Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
Ken Hamlin. Yeah. Drayton Florence.
Oh, Dre played for
Brian Scott. Mike
Doss.
Terrence Keel from A&M.
Ooh,
yeah.
Rest in peace.
Ricky Manning, UCLA.
Chris Crocker. You guys did have some ballers.
Donald Strickland.
This was a class.
Julian Battle.
It was a class.
Dennis Weathersby. We did this earlier. In just the first round alone, they took 6 corners. Then they took another.
Really?
Yeah.
They did. And then they took like
You were the 6th. I was the 7th corner taken at the 35th pick. And then in the 7th round, they took another 7 corners.
Wow.
Like, they were corner DB heavy in the 2003 draft.
It was a strong class.
Hey, man. Well, congrats.
I don't know what y'all had.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. 8 DBs in the in the 7th round. 8 DBs.
8 DBs. What class are you?
I'm 2006.
You're 06.
Yeah.
He looked like he was 99.
Is he lying?
No.
2006.
He is. He's telling the truth.
I just want to let everybody know we have never been accused of lying so much. Until this episode. We've never been accused of lying so much.
Actors.
We're actors.
I don't know.
We're all actors.
When you go back and watch this, you be like, damn, Peanut was really acting when he asked me that question. Yeah.
And that is it. Nnamdi, you are off the hot seat.
All right.
We're going to let you go, man, with this one. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
And also to all of our listeners and those out there watching, please continue to do that, man. We're going to continue to bring you nothing but heat from all of our guests that we got with us. And I just got to say, for all of us, give us a 5-star rating, please. Click follow. Give us a shout out. Give us a review if you'd like. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Anywhere you pick up your podcast, whether it's iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts. And with all things being said, Nnamdi, that was the same question we asked everybody else.
Oh, I hate
Peanut is a great actor. I was acting.
And I'm gonna press this
I like it. I like it. I love it. He was like, man, that was a good one. I was like, hey, I had to go into a dark place. I was Denzel.
Yeah, you hit
on
training day.
I was training day Denzel. Yeah, I was Lonzo. I had to just go dark. Wow. I went dark, and it was awesome.
So y'all are liars.
Actors.
We are actors. We are actors.
It was actors.
Did you see how I really bowed down?
Yes, that was good. I was like, thank you.
It's a great support.
Yes, my hype. Oh, I love it. Wow. That's my guy. Wow. That's my guy. We pulled it off.
I can't.
We need to act.
I'm gonna give y'all 1 star. You said 5 star. I'm gonna go on there. How do I?
Looking for us.
Was awesome.
Looking for us. We can edit that part.
That was awesome. Hey, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the NFL Player Second Acts podcast. I'm Peanut. That's Roman. That's Nnamdi. And hey, man, we had a blast. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Good night.